Well, there's a big change in the weather from yesterday when it was 60 degrees, and it was a little overcast, rainy, but the temperatures were up, and it melted off a lot of our snow. But as you can see, there's still some icy patches left. But we're back to winter again, at least for this week, and then it looks like maybe next week it'll start warming up again for us. Well, hey cats, what's happening today? Welcome to the man cave. Come on in, make yourself comfortable. Comfortable as can be. It's not exactly toasty in here, but it's doable. You know, it ain't bad. Today I'd like to take some time to talk though. I mean, a lot of us guys are older bikers, and we've been there, done that. We've been through the whole gamut of the motorcycle culture, and perhaps we have some things to teach to the younger generation that's going to take our place eventually in riding motorcycles. Who knows where the motorcycle culture is going to go from here? It seems to be slowly changing in a lot of ways from when I was a kid, obviously, but it's going to continue to change, and there's going to be new riders stepping in. So this is for you guys that perhaps are new riders, or maybe you don't ride at all, but you're thinking about riding a motorcycle. What tips can I give you? Now, obviously, I can't teach you how to ride a motorcycle. There are classes that are available. You can check online for motorcycle safety courses, and you may have to drive a couple hours to get there. I know there's none in our immediate area here. I think the closest one is probably about a 2-hour drive to get there. And they may be a couple of sessions, a couple of different days where they lead. But those classes actually offer you a motorcycle. They have small motorcycles that they teach you how to ride basically in a parking lot area. And they teach you some of the basic skills of riding. Enough that perhaps you could get your motorcycle endorsement. Now, say you don't have a motorcycle. You've never ridden one, but you've thought about it. It could be a couple of different reasons. Maybe you just like the lifestyle of the biker life. Maybe your friends all ride motorcycles and you've been thinking about it. It might just be a cheaper mode of transportation for you to get back and forth, and that can truly be the case. I would say if you've never ridden before, you take a few things in consideration first. You know, a lot of people will tell you it's really dangerous to ride a motorcycle. That's kind of relative. If you learn how to ride and you are attentive to the surroundings around you and you're a cautious rider, you shouldn't really have any trouble. It's the other people you got to watch out for. And nowadays, with cell phones, that's a big issue to consider. Is it more dangerous than riding in a car? Obviously, you're more vulnerable, but it isn't like just because you're on two wheels there's more risk of you getting in an accident. I don't believe that at all. One of the issues are that you're smaller on a motorcycle, so people aren't readily easy to see you on a motorcycle than if you were driving a Chevy Silverado. You know what I'm saying? There's a big size difference. So their peripheral vision may not see you coming, or it could be dangerous out on the road. I won't argue that, but if you're careful enough, you can overcome that. Now, I would say the basics are like riding a bicycle. If you can ride a bicycle, you can get on the bike and take off and start on a bicycle. You can stop on a bicycle without falling off. You can corner, turn. You can control it at a pretty decent speed. Two wheels, a motorcycle, going to be obviously very much like riding a bicycle. There's some intimidation because of the weight, but that's relative too, because if you keep your center of balance, you keep that motorcycle straight up and down, you're not going to feel the weight. You know, if you lean it over to one side far enough, yeah, it's going to go over this 800-pound motorcycle. So obviously the weight's going to pull it down on the ground. But if I'm holding it straight up, I'm sitting on the straddling the seat with my feet on the ground, I'm perfectly fine. Key word, my feet are on the ground. Now some motorcycles have a very high seat, and it's very hard for you to get, especially if you got shorter legs. So your first choice of a motorcycle would be one that has a low seat on it, where both your feet can both stay flat on the ground. If you're interested in a motorcycle, I would suggest going to a motorcycle dealership. Go to your Honda store, or go to the Harley store. They're usually very friendly people, and they'll let you sit on a brand new motorcycle and size it up and get an idea of what actually fits you. I wouldn't go out and buy a great big cruiser right off the bat. Start with something simple. Now, in my situation, the way I learned, I started out at the basics. You may even want to start out like this with a mini bike. And that's kind of how I learned, and I didn't have anything this fancy. My motorcycle mini bikes were pretty much homemade things that were rattle traps, but they worked. And eventually we were able to upgrade and buy something nicer, and then I'd upgrade again and buy something nicer. But I learned a lot how to ride by riding in the dirt. If you live in a rural area, or even if you have a large yard to ride in, that's key to learning how to ride. Because if you can ride in the dirt, in the gravel, off-road situations, you're going to learn how to control that motorcycle really, really well. In slippery grass, things like that. That'll teach you real quick. And then when you get out on the road finally, you'll already have a lot of those skills down. Now, if you do live in the city, it could be a little different of a problem. Maybe something like this won't work because it's illegal to ride it on the street the way that is. And if you don't have an endorsement, you can get cited or have your machine confiscated. And you don't want that. Perhaps there's a parking lot, a school parking lot or something nearby that you could practice riding, on a motorcycle or something like that. So, practice makes perfect, and the more you can practice without going out on the street, the more confident you're going to be when you finally hit the road. Now, another thing I would recommend if you're going to ride a motorcycle, and it's the first time you've ridden a motorcycle, get the proper gear. You don't want to go out riding in flip-flop sandals and shorts. You want to wear a nice, pair of blue jeans or something, heavy enough that if you do fall down, you're not going to skin your knees up. I like to always wear gloves. I have a nice lightweight pair of leather gloves that I can wear all year round. And of course you'll want to wear a helmet. There's a couple different sizes of helmets and types of helmets, I mean. You've got the half helmet, you've got the full face helmet. There's all different, hundreds of different styles. Find one that's comfortable for you and then protect your head by wearing a helmet. Now I know what you're going to say, Itchy, you don't wear a helmet. It's my choice. I used to wear a helmet a lot when I rode a dirt bike. I got on the street and I just eventually stopped wearing a helmet, and I have always been very confident, but I get a lot of argument about that it's a really unsafe practice. I went out and bought a brand new helmet, and I think I've only worn it once or twice because I feel very uncomfortable wearing a helmet. That's beside the point. That's a whole different argument there. So we're not even going to go there. I'm going to recommend that if you're a new rider, you wear a helmet. And you have to protect your eyes. So if you don't have a shield on your helmet, you're going to have to wear some kind of glasses, safety glasses, sunglasses, something to protect, keep a bug from flying in your eyeball when you're out on the road. Okay, what else can we tell a brand new rider about, things that they should think about before running out and buying a motorcycle? Well, one thing for sure I would tell you is don't run out and buy a brand new motorcycle. It may be something that once you try it, you may not like it. And there's plenty of really cheap used motorcycles that you can buy especially for your first bike. My first real motorcycle was a Yamaha 650 Special, but I got for 500 bucks. That's affordable, you know, yeah, 500 bucks. And it ran fine. It just needed a couple little tweaks that I worked on, and I was able to get it running like a top. And I took that motorcycle and I made it mine. I kind of customized it. I painted it. I changed it. I switched things up, put a different seat on it, and made it my own style. And rode that for a long time, and actually rode that with some clubs. Speaking of clubs, you know, if you're a new rider or you're thinking about riding, you may be infatuated by motorcycle clubs. You may think, oh yeah, that's what I want to be. I want to be a Hell's Angel someday. Yeah, that was me. You really, you know, before you even think about that, you need to know how to ride. And you need to know how to ride good, because the clubs, if you join a club, no matter what the club be, there's some very, very good, legit clubs out there. There's some 1% clubs out there. But regardless of the club, they're going to ride. And you're going to do a lot of riding. And you're going to have to keep up with the other riders. And may not be too easy. So if you're a new rider and say you're interested in joining a club, you may want to try going on a few poker runs first. That'll give you an idea what it's like to ride with other people and what your skill levels are as keeping up with other people. What's a poker run? Well, it starts out, pay your $15, $20, $25, whatever the fee is, and they will give you a sheet that has pretty much what you're going to do is draw cards each stop to make a full poker hand. And along the way, it could be a 100-mile run, but maybe every 20 miles or so, there's going to be a stop or a checkpoint. And at that checkpoint, you're going to reach into a paper sack and pull out a card, and that's going to be your next card to write onto your hand. When you get to the very end and your very last stop, you pull your last card, you have a full poker hand, and out of all the people that are on that ride with you, whoever has the best poker hand will win the pot, whatever that could be, and they could be different prizes. And a lot of times those are fundraising rides, you know, to raise money for a specific cause. And the winner of the money will turn around and hand the money back to the cause. Because it's all fun. It's all fun. But that'll give you an idea what it's like to ride with other motorcycles. You know, you may find yourself at the very back of the pack trying to keep up. And then again, you may learn a few other tricks too while you're out there from other riders who can teach you some of the finer points of riding. If you still have that infatuation with a club, you know that there is 100 different clubs you can join. Some of them are very nice, good, well-organized clubs. They're not bad clubs. They're not one-percenters. They're not, you know, like, it's nothing like joining the Hells Angels or the Mongols or one of those clubs. I was a member of Rolling Thunder, very legit club. And the thing is with a club like Rolling Thunder, it's not particularly a lifetime commitment. In other words, you know, some of these 1% clubs, when you join, they want you to make a lifetime commitment. Like there's no way out. Like once you're a member, you're going to be a member forever. And they used to be pretty hard about that. Nowadays, maybe not so much, but you want to think about that before you run out and join a club. There's clubs for police officers, there's clubs for firefighters, there's clubs for just about everything that you can think of. There's a club for everybody. Now, if you've never ridden before, you have no experience, you may just want to start watching a couple videos similar to this one. It may show you some of the workings of a motorcycle. You know, every motorcycle is going to have a throttle lever that wah, 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 gives it the gas. You're going to have a clutch lever that disengages the transmission, puts you in a neutral position. You're going to have a front brake lever. You're going to have a back foot lever. Not all these bikes are the same. Some of them are a little different, but they're all going to be similar in some degrees. And then you're going to have your shift levers that you're going to shift with your foot. There's other controls on the handlebars. There's turn signals, there's horn, there's bright lights, emergency flashers, things that you operate with your thumbs while you're riding. You may want to familiarize yourself with those things before you even think about getting on a motorcycle, even if you're going to take one of these courses. That way, when you get there, you'll already have a pretty good idea of what the functions are and how everything works on a motorcycle. Well, I don't know what else I can tell you, but I'm sure there's a lot of details, and you may still have a lot of questions. If you got questions, leave them down below, and I'll answer them best I can, or somebody else will definitely answer them. If you're a seasoned rider and you think of something that perhaps I didn't think of, leave a comment down below, and it'll be good reading for those who are new to riding a motorcycle. Well, thanks for watching today. Appreciate you guys joining me and taking time to listen to the video. Give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my videos. Till next time, cats, ride hard and die free.